Hey everybody, this is Alistair, doing episode 2 of Andor for our Headspace watch. Alright, let's see what. And first off, it shows the that bar scene again. And it might seem like a small thing, even though it is the main reason everything is happening. But to get to know Cassian, this is like the most important scene, and how he's like stumbled into being this person just by showing up at a place for his sister. Even just the goal of him like wanting to go find her has put him into the shoes of other great figures in the universe. And the really only the defining trait is how other people see him. To everyone else, Cassian's this tough looking guy. And in some situations, like, you'll plan most of your actions off of that. And eventually he goes to find Bix so he can be a schemer with her. Then he goes to Marva to emulate some sort of survival skill. All of this goes with the episode name, and it's That Would Be Me. Just showing all the parallels for this phrase for Cassian. Whether he knows it or not, he's igniting this fire, focus, desire. Pick your motivational word there, but that people like only like hear about. And at this point he like doesn't really think he's like doing it as much as he is. And he's like kind of like almost secretive about it. Like, he notices people noticing it, but really he keeps it for the people he knows. Like the a torchbearer, if you will. But it only is the torch, so he doesn't know exactly what he's gonna be starting. For example, like in this episode, Tim sees something about him and he takes that like and brings down the force of the security office or whatever. And with that thing, with those kind of things, you usually bring. He was only wanting to get Cassian doing something else, maybe like it is his girl. I don't know if he has the rights to do that, but he brought the whole sense of the Empire to the area. Like, if you're being logical about it, they're not just gonna like pluck a little like dissenter. They're gonna reach out and see if there's like other ones, only just to be so thorough. Otherwise, they wouldn't even like bother at all. If anyone was like, oh, like some of our guys got killed, they wouldn't want it as an ongoing problem. I'm not blaming Tim for anything really, but right now the main problem is Cyril and the security HQ's oncoming pursuit of Cassian for what he did while he's looking for his sister. And Cyril knows it. He wanted something big to happen for his career, but it's really big for where he's going. and he wants so badly to be fully a part of it. Every time you see him just standing there, it kind of looks like he's getting his reactions ready for everyone to hear, already waiting for some congratulations, like he's gonna be stopped in the street just to be thanked. Like he's trying to be like a public uh, personality or person people know, but it's really not something that happens for his job, looks like. And then there's the mallet guy, just like concluding the preparation phase. They started to dim all of the setting. Usually, the light shows action, and right now it's like showing you all the finer movements in the characters or goals about to happen. And most of this episode 2 is like cloaked and set in darkness, almost as though if like every time it's dark or dimly lit, it's one or more characters like receding to their thoughts or coming out, depending on the transition. And definitely, most of the time, it's like almost like showing knowledge. The brighter it is like less things known. And when you like look into like Marv's like house, at least at first, it's very dark. She's like sitting in the dark, almost as though like there's like a HUD in her view. She's not like just blankly staring into space, but she's like looking forward, thinking. There's like no props or anything that signifies that she's like does much there, but like speak at least. She's very into her thoughts. Then after a while, it shows her in Cassian's room. She's facing a window. The bright light from the outside alleyways and streets shining upon her face. Then she like goes down and grabs the blow dart. It's like an obvious like parent thing and a pondering gesture. She grabs the blowgun and like turns it over, obviously like wondering about Cassian, trying to like grasp about what's about to happen. I really enjoy Andor's non-verbal moments, and to go back to the closing darkness, it always seems to bring up deep thought or a very vivid memory. It's just a general overcast so that they're all aware of something affecting the greater whole. But with the knowledge or thoughts you get from being in a certain place long enough, Marva sees it coming, and that now they know that something's about to happen. The white light being casted is showing the maturity of the idea, showing the evolution of it. The brightest being youngest and immature. And then I noticed the colors. When most of them are just tan or a different shade of brown, it makes you notice the other ones a lot more. And they transition in between and out of the green from the forest for Cassian's flashbacks or like, inner thoughts, those of which being like so fresh or fresher and new. that will be very innovative later. If this is how they start, they show up in a time when he's like, the gears are turning in his head. It's not some horrible treachery, but we also get to see like where he's like, he refeels on that kind of thinking and like spreads it previously in the first episode, and in this one they're all like reaching back to meet Cassian. Like it doesn't just taper out after these certain people like talk to him. They have to like recoup and redress. At first Bix is like not with it and not gonna help him. Obviously already busy, but she's capable, so she eventually switches moods and then goes green and calls for the buyer eventually, and then comes back. So Cassian get what he needs. For a moment, he's just like about to like hold up somewhere or something. It's like, oh well, that was like my main resource right there for reaching out of Ferrex. But then she does come through, matching his mindset, and even Tim notices, but like he doesn't know what it is yet. He may have not ever like interacted with her like this, and he might not ever should have. He could just like been an observer for it, but he does what he does and calls security HQ and figures out all this stuff for Cyril. You know, Tim doesn't know what Canary is because apparently like no one knows what Canary is. It's like, I don't know what Canary is, but he was just talking to her, so that's definitely Cassie. And this is her computer. Just another Deus Ex Machina coming out from Cyril's end, and it taking hold of Tim, going from the dark after maybe an hour of drinking or something to the brightly lit communication booth. It was a very infantile like thought or move, kind of showing like Tim is a man of action. Like he doesn't do like idle pondering. But it got dark, and that's what he did. He should have been like someone in red and been the stability, or someone in orange, been a little more vulnerable or flexible. By the end of the rewatch, I'm sure I'll have like all the colors tagged for this show, or I guess the set designers or directors. Maybe orange is like construction or believability, but they're only those things because maybe an initial occurrence and then an ongoing reoccurrence of something happening and the color's presence there. But for the lighting thing, that'll probably carry over into the other episodes and maybe like other things that you'll see. It's definitely building up more and more. Right now, you're watching The Outsider as an outsider to their life, or just a non-participant. But as the observer, your role continually changes in this manner. Sometimes you're a complete stranger, mostly an outsider to the story. Sometimes you're like the furniture, like when Cassian's at his house talking to Marva. Or maybe this is just all a recounting from B years later, trying to show some people what was the following events to what was to come. a very factual, and that's what happened, they won't actually do that. Just the final scene of like someone zooming out and they're in front of some court or in some sort of interrogation chair. We go by and notice all these elements, but we're really getting ready for what's about to happen in the next episode, where everything will crisscross and expose itself to who and how and all of that there. But thank you for joining us on Headspace. Please elaborate in the comments. Smash that like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on episode 3 called The Reckoning. And thanks for joining me. Maybe we're the spies. I was expecting a lot of spies. Bye bye.